Hi everyone, we are going to make a darling burlap bag and some cardboard triangular carrots that just turn out so cute. So first off, I took a piece of cardboard and it was 6 inches wide. The triangle is 6 inches wide at the bottom and the height is about 5 inches. They can vary a little bit in the height, but for these 6 inches wide is great. So you cut out your triangle. And then you will measure 2 inches over on both sides on the bottom. And then you will draw a line up to the top corner. And those are going to be the fold lines to make your triangle. Now I'm just using a flat edge putty knife to kind of score the cardboard to make a fold to bend it. Just press them down all along that line I drew, kind of folding it up right where it needs to be folded. And then also you'll want to measure down at the top down an inch. And I couldn't remember exactly how far I went, so I took another one of my folded pieces of cardboard and had to check it, but it was about an inch. So measure down an inch and then draw those lines and cut those little pieces off. And save those pieces, and you will want to glue those in the open triangle piece that you will see in a minute. And you want to do that before you start using the chenille orange yarn, but I didn't, but we made it work. So right now I'm putting glue all along the edge of one of those folds. And I'm just pushing them all together, and I got my finger, I think. And just wait until the glue is set and dry. And that is your carrot shape. So once that is dry enough that it's staying put, you get your orange chenille yarn that I got at Dollar Tree. I love this yarn. Put a little bit of glue on the end and glue your end piece there. And then you'll start winding it right around the entire carrot. So just put a little bit of glue, wind it around 5, 6, 7 times. A little more glue, wind it around a few more times, and just put the yarn right next to the piece before, trying to cover up as much of the cardboard as you can. Excuse me. And just keep going round and round. And one thing I kind of noticed is try not to get big, thick clumps of the hot glue. Try to spread it out a little flatter, because if not, it kind of seeps through the in between the yarn pieces, which I kind of don't mind. It came through on a few spots of mine, and it just kind of looks like lines on a real carrot. So just keep going around and round. If your lines don't stay completely straight, that's okay too. Now you can see that triangle opening. That's what I was talking about with your little pieces of cardboard. Before you start the yarn, it's easier to put those on at first. And you'll just want to glue them on, and you'll see how I do it in a moment. And you kind of have to trim them down. And you want a little bit of space in the middle so you can stick your plastic greenery picks down in there, which again you'll see in a moment. But I hadn't noticed, I hadn't done that yet. I'm just still, and here's where I notice, and so then I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get those on before I go any further. So I'm gluing those little triangle pieces on, and you'll have to trim them down a little bit. They don't fit perfectly. And like I said, you'll want a little bit of space in the middle that you can poke the greenery down. So you just trim it down and just kind of fit it, because you will be gluing the orange yarn all along the top of there as well. So that will all be covered up. So now you just keep progressing and going round and round, and glue those corners extra well to make sure the yarn doesn't slide up over, and then the cardboard will show too much. I think these turned out so cute. So you just kind of hold the corners as you go around, and now we're working our way on top a little bit. Just have to go slowly and be careful not to burn your fingers. Just keep gluing a little and putting your yarn down a little. Glue a little bit more until you get it all covered. I got it to the middle there, just cut off a little piece and kind of just stick that last little bit down in there, and then now you need to glue your picks on. I got these greenery leaves at Walmart, and once you put the hot glue on, the plastic really melts, so you have to hold it in place for a minute or so until that the glue sets and dries. Otherwise it melts and just kind of hangs, so you have to hold the leaves where you want them to go. So while it's still kind of sitting there, I laid it down, and I'm going to put just a little bit of Spanish moss all along the top, or the bases of the greenery, just all around the top of that, top of the carrot. And again, holding it in place till it completely dries, so your leaves don't melt and droop. Get a little bit in the other side here. And then I'll trim it up, and that will be my first carrot done. I think it's so cute. So there's one carrot. So off camera I made the other two, so I've got 3 carrots here. Now I've got burlap ribbon, and it's the 6-inch wide, and I didn't measure the piece, but I think it's at least 20 inches. And I took a piece of chipboard, and I wish I would have made it thicker, and I end up, after the project was over, putting a little piece of wood on the bottom to make it more stable, because this kind of bent, it wasn't thick enough or sturdy enough to hold it. But anyway, we made it work. So right now, after gluing that chipboard in the middle, I'm gluing both the ends of the burlap bag to making the bottom of the burlap bag right now. So I bring over one edge halfway, and then the other one meet halfway. Okay, and now I'm just kind of deciding how far I want to bend the top of my bag down on each side. And then I'm just going to glue the edges on both sides up to where I want to fold it. Do that on the other side. And there's my cute bag. So now I'm just folding the front down, and I actually wanted it a little uneven, hanging a little lower on the one side. I'm just funny that way. I don't like vintage old things looking perfectly, so this side is hanging down a little bit longer. And those finger protectors, you can get those at Dollar Tree, and they are so helpful. I have burnt my fingers so many times. This is such a quick and easy bag, and it turns out really cute. Okay, so there's my bag, and like I said, the base isn't real sturdy, but I make it at the end of my project. I put a little wood piece on the bottom. Now I'm grabbing a pretty big size handful of Spanish moss, and I'm filling it at the bottom, making sure I should get it down in the corners. Filling that probably not quite halfway. Trying to put these carrots in and seeing if that's enough to hold them up where I want them to sit. And I don't think I show it on this video, but I end up putting a little dab of glue in various spots inside the burlap bag to hold the carrots where I want them to stay. Now I'm going to put some Excelsior in various spots coming out of the bag. I just think this is a nice texture, just is nice visually, just adds that extra little touch. I put a little here and there, After a minute or two, I decide it needs a little bit more, so I'll even stick in a little more. Just giving it a pretty good trim. Now I already had this jute twine bow, but you can use any kind of flower or make a twine bow. And I'm just kind of gluing it on the right side there. And then I have this tag that I made on my computer. Right now I'm putting a little more Excelsior in. And it says farm fresh carrots, 100% organic. And I'm using my distressing ink in the color potting soil. And I'm really darkening it up and getting a lot on all the edges. Now I'm scrunching it and bending it and making it look old. Here I'm using my scissor edge to just really scruff up the edge. Just want it really vintage and rustic looking, old and weathered. And I'm going to put some twine in. I was going to cut it, and then I thought, no, I'm going to put a little bow on top of that little twine flower bow. Get a little bow made there, and then trim the tails just a bit how they need. And I'm going to glue that on. Then I had this cute little orange button that I thought would just tie it all in. So I'm putting that on top of the tag. And that is it. And like I said, I did put a piece of wood on the bottom, glued it on there really well to make it more stable. And I appreciate you watching. Please check out the items I used below. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Please like and share and favorite my shop and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.